In this series of tragic deaths, I am yet again back with another new story. This time, neither is it a bear nor a lion, but instead it is the scariest creature that rules the sea, the king shark. Sharks are always used to portray terror in movies. Ever wondered why? Well, that is because these creatures are purely terror and nothing else. Today I will be telling you guys about Henri Bource, the survivor of a shark attack, and trust me, God bid if I was him, this would have been my biggest flex till death. Bource was born in Rotterdam and emigrated to Australia as a teenager in 1954. He learned to use an aqualung with his father and trailed as a graphic artist. Bource was attacked by what is believed to have been a 2.4 meter long great white shark off Lady Julia Percy Island in Australia in November 1964. He was 29 years old at the time. Bource entered the water. Suddenly, the seals disappeared. The water was quite empty, said Bource. There was a split second of eerie silence, and our instinct as divers warned us that something was wrong. They dived down to 10 meters, hugging the bottom. Unable to locate the seals, the divers ascended. As Bource's head broke the surface, he was hit with tremendous force. I threw my arm up in the diver's signal for help and screamed, "Shark!" I was torn through the water with enormous power and dragged below. The force of the attack ripped off my mask and snorkel. I could only make out a blurred shape, a huge shadow, as the shark took me down to the bottom, gripping my leg. As it dived deep, the shark shook me the way a dog would shake an old slipper. I found myself reaching for the shark's eyes, but I could barely reach my arm around his gigantic snout, and I just scrabbled helplessly around the monster's muzzle. There was another sensation in which pain and fear were almost forgotten. I was drowning. I needed air, suffocating as I was tucked and rolled from side to side. Then suddenly it all stopped. The shaking and the turmoil ceased. There was a moment of almost peace. Then I realized, as I groped for the surface, that I had just had my leg bitten off. The air was wonderful as I gasped on the surface. Then I fell down to the remains of my left leg. I was quite calm, shocked perhaps, but I found it hard to focus clearly. There was a curious division in which my body tended towards natural animal panic, but my mind remained quite detached. Dietmar Kruppe and Fred Arndt reached Bource. The shark came back at least 5 times, but Arndt and Kruppe drove it away with their light hand spears. The spears were twisted and bent from hitting the shark, but the fish displayed no aggression towards either of the two men. The dive boat, dragging its anchor, sped toward the men in the water. Bource's girlfriend, Jill Radcliffe, grabbed the safety line, jumped into the water, and swam to the men and was followed by their divers. Bource was lifted on board the dive boat and carried to the middle of the deck, where a tourniquet was swiftly applied. People were still on the island, and a decision was made to head for port and return for them later. Captain Kelly broadcast a mayday, telling Bource's blood type and asking for a doctor and ambulance to meet them at Port Fairy with blood for transfusions. A doctor and ambulance met the boat at the Port Fairy landing. Bource had lost 3.5 liters of blood and transfusions were given. As he was rushed to Warrnambool Hospital, he lost his left leg but survived the attack and went on to retell the story in his 1969 documentary film, Savage Shadows. He continued to dive, wearing a modified diving fin on the stump of his left leg. During the 1970s, he made a short film from BHP and Esso called Reef of Steel and appeared in Island Treasure in 1981. He was interviewed at various times about his shark attack, including by Peter Luck in 1979. He died in 1998 due to various illnesses. Henri may have passed a long time ago, but he remains very close to our hearts, as he escaped death by escaping that shark. He was named the Miracle Man by doctors, as he survived what nobody else could have survived. So, tell me guys, have you guys heard of him before? or is it your first time finding his story? And if it is your first time, what do you think about this brave man? If you guys liked this video, hit that like button and do not forget to subscribe and share. Bye!